What's up guys, Kobe Cheese here, playing on the public beta for League of Legends, trying out the new champ, Yasuo! I guess that's how you say it. You have to say it in that accent too. And here we go, I'm knocking people up at the turret, killing them with my ultimate, and I'm going to be chasing down their jungler here and doing some damage. Now you can notice that one of his abilities has a really short cooldown. You'll see me spinning my sword around, and you'll notice a little icon around the enemy, and that's going to be the timer on when I can actually dash to her once again. There we go, getting the double kill, even though it wasn't counted as one. And this champion is actually a lot of fun. He does have a little bit of quirky usability issues, which I'll talk about in just a little bit, but holy crap, he does a lot of damage. So check this out. I'm going to actually block the turret hits for a few with one of my abilities, which is a little wind wall. It does block turret shots. In fact, it will block any kind of projectile attack that the enemy can use, and it's really freaking awesome for making some crazy plays. So in this particular situation, I'm going to throw out that wind wall, block a few projectile attacks on the enemy, and then I'm going to go in there, use Nami's ultimate to combo into my ultimate. Now, the thing about Yasuo's ultimate is that it's actually required that you have enemies knocked into the air before you can activate your ultimate. So therefore, in that particular case, it worked really well with Nami. She knocked everyone up, and I was able to combo, knock everyone else up in the air for an extra 1 second. What it does is it locks them up into the air. And the problem with this mostly is that it's really difficult for you to get people knocked in the air and use your ultimate. I think in like 3 or 4 games that I played, I was only able to use his ultimate effectively like 3 or 4 times. So that's really not as much of a problem, because for the most part you do a crap load of damage. His passive is an ability that allows you to double all of your critical strike chance. So in this particular case, I've got an Infinity Edge and a Static Shiv, and I'm at 90% crit chance. And I just completely melt everyone that I fight 1v1. And the way this works is you're going to have a Static Shiv as like the, probably, I'm guessing, going to be like the main item that you're going to build, because of the fact that you actually get all of that crit chance on the Static Shiv, and every time that passive will proc, you're going to get crit pretty much every single time, especially once you get your Infinity Edge built up. And another thing that works really well with him is the fact that you're going to be constantly moving around, so you're going to be building up that Static Shiv charge. And then another part of his passive is that once that little bar on the bottom, which looks like energy right now, once that bar gets to the max amount, you're going to grab a really large damage-absorbing shield whenever you take a hit from an enemy. And so every time you start to move around and get that maxed out, you can block a huge amount of damage when you go in for your damage combo. You notice there I actually get hit by Vi, take a little bit of damage, and the shield blocks most of it. And what I'm trying to do here is I'm going in and hitting my Q. Once you've landed that ability twice, the third one will actually send out a tornado that knocks up enemies, and that allows you to combo into your ultimate. In that particular case, I was a little bit too ham, and I got caught by the enemies, but not before taking out the Vi. And the cool thing about his abilities is they're super low cooldown, and in most cases you're going to be dashing in between creeps and to the enemies. So you can actually dash to creeps and then dash to enemies, and each time you dash you can get an extra 25% damage on that dash, up to an extra 100%. And the only thing is that it's going to be about a 6-second cooldown at max rank before we can dash to the same target. And get dunked. I just blocked Ashe ultimate. I don't know if you noticed that, but I threw up my wind wall. Ashe used her ulti, and it was blocked. I was able to take her out really easily there. In this case, I'm going to throw up the wind wall to block some turret hits in order to try and bait out the Wukong to use his abilities. He didn't actually go for it there. He does get a nice little ulti on us, and I dash back into him, getting hit by their Ashe ulti. And I was going to go back in on here, but I got turret aggro. Unfortunately, our ally goes down, but I get in range for one last dash, and whoop! There you go. There's the cleanup. Now, you may notice whenever I'm using my my little sword ability there, whenever you use it right after using a dash, it makes an AoE circular slash. And if you're using it just by itself, it'll thrust out in front of you. It's a super low range though, so a lot of times you're actually going to end up missing that. If you dash next to an enemy, then you'll be really far away from them and you'll miss your Q, which screws up your entire combo for the knockup. And that's another problem with you trying to get your ulti off, is that you won't have that that third stack ready to go. And sometimes you'll actually Q when you think you're next to an enemy, and you'll shoot out that tornado and you'll actually end up missing it. So that's another problem with it there. Overall, it's really, really strong ultimate whenever you do land it. It's just that it's going to be very rare that you're going to get it in a situation that you actually want to use that ability. Now, in this case, I'm pretty much fully built at this point. I've got Static Shiv, Infinity Edge, and I've got my GA and a Last Whisper, so I am really strong right now. And I find that this character is like ultra late game. His laning phase is quite questionable, actually. It's like really bad. But you can manage it, and all you really need is that Infinity Edge and Static Shiv, and you're going to start going wild on people. In this particular case, I wasn't able to finish her off, but I was able to dash by flashing over the wall into a minion and then dashing a second time into the Vi to clean her up. In this particular case, I blocked a few turret hits with the wind wall, and then I do get a combo. Finally, there's a tornado into my ultimate and an ignite, taking down the Wukong, and I don't lose my GA in this particular case. And I can dash right back out, clean up some creeps, and go to safety. There's the shield. You actually notice that the shield does work in the jungle camps as well, so that's really cool. So we're pretty much done showing off all of Yasuo. And hopefully you guys are excited as I am about playing this champion in some actual games with my friends. PvE games are always about testing. There's probably going to be a lot of changes that will be made. So I'm mostly hoping that they make the ultimate a little bit easier to use. For now, though, he does crap loads of damage, and he feels like a fed Master Yi after only 2 items. And we'll see if that is going to be a big problem, or if the fact that it's really difficult to get off some of his stuff is going to hold him back. But that's it for now, guys. If you enjoyed this, be sure to subscribe for my full first impressions once he is released. Now, see you around for the next one. Kobe Cheese, peace out.